What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Big Country, and we're continuing with No Place Like Home, 1991. Thank you again to Wayne and Tim, and of course Mr. Solo, who started this deep dive off. And the next tune in the playlist is Beautiful People. It's easily understood, it's simply descriptive. Of course, it's the kind of phrase that feels like there could be an irony or a sarcasm, and given some of the lyrics on the last album and a half of material from Big Country, I wouldn't be surprised if there is some underbelly of the otherwise clear and straightaway phrase that will be at play here. It does make me think it was Marilyn Manson, right? Didn't Marilyn Manson have a hit song by the same name, which I do think was, again, ironic or witheringly sarcastic, which seems ironic given revelations about him over time, but that is neither here nor there. Let's focus on Big Country. So yes, I wouldn't be surprised if the beautiful people are maybe less than fully beautiful, or maybe not beautiful in all ways or at all times. Of course, it could be more straight away, and perhaps there's some distance between the narrator and these beautiful people. Perhaps they're, on the other side of the fence, or they are in a time and place and context which is not easily accessible, and thus one must strive to get to the beautiful people or to become one of the beautiful people. Either way, or in any case, I will try to catch what I can. Let's give it a listen. This is Big Country. The track is Beautiful People, and it's from their 1991 album, No Place Like Home. Fascinating track. Okay, so again, the Sonics, they're in that country folk range again, though there are some like keyboard touches, I think, and some aspects that are, beyond just like a simple like folk instrument, people around a campfire sort of like folk music. It is, more produced than that. But again, it has a rural, rustic, country folk atmosphere and styling. And again, that sort of acoustic guitar, I think, at the center of it. There's a fiddle at some point, I think. So, there's a bit of that flavor, but it still feels a bit fuller than that sonically. And lyrically, I'm fascinated because at first I thought, okay, so I think it's more genuine, the title phrase, because I think he's saying, like, there's silver linings, and even if people aren't getting everything right, even if they don't have everything, even if they struggle, they're still beautiful people to me, and it's beautiful people I see. And it sounds like he's accepting of, different ways of being and different levels of being and different attitudes, and he's saying, you're all sort of beautiful. But the more it went on, the more I was like, oh, I do think there's an irony, or there's a incisive nature to what he's saying, because he's saying, like, if your soul is empty but you have, what is it, like a pool of millions, something like that, and you're beautiful people to me. And normally, that'd be the kind of thing where, like, oh, you're sort of empty and dead inside, you accumulate material wealth, but you have no feeling, you have no depth of character, you have no genuine humanity beyond or underneath all that opulence and material possession. And so it feels like it's an inverse criticism. It's saying, oh, you're, that's beautiful, that's enough for me, but it sounds like a criticism. And if you have the best government that money can buy, something like that, which, I mean, that's inherently a criticism, right? The idea of, like, oh, if you can buy a government, if you can just use money to influence or affect a government, then it's not likely to be one that is beneficial for all or equal for all, because people have different levels of affluence, different levels of wealth or poverty, and thus the best money or the best government a money can buy is likely to serve more narrow interests, to be less just and more potentially corrupt. So again, like, it seems like that's a criticism. And then I start noticing lines that are sort of inverted, like a desert that's like blooming, which, deserts, things with not a lot of water, things that are arid, and thus where life finds it harder to exist. Now, of course, plant life, animal life, it can and does exist in the deserts of the earth, but it is harder for life to thrive in such an environment, whereas the ocean is, full of diverse and varied life forms. But what was the second line? It was like the desert blooms while the ocean dies, or something like that. So it seemed like things were turned around, and then, people that can look up and see the stars when it's dark at night, that's enough for me. And what was it about, like, a civilization dying? That's enough for me. So it feels like there's some inversion happening, and maybe, again, some irony or sarcasm. The idea that things where it's supposed to be thriving and healthy are actually anything but, and things that should be, devoid of feeling in life and so on, they're actually thriving and doing well. So, yeah, I don't know how it all comes together, but I do feel like beautiful people, it's more than meets the eye. It's more than a straightaway understanding of the phrase. Even if, again, at the beginning of the song, I was feeling like, oh, he's kind of accepting of, different kinds of people doing different things on different levels, and, as long as on some level they're genuine or authentic, then he considers that beautiful, even if it's very different from him. But I don't think that's what's happening. I think it was different than that. His vocals, kind of in the middle range, nothing exceptional here, but I think Stewart sounds good. I think he, fits the country rustic atmosphere of the tune. So, yeah, again, it's really fascinating to experience the evolution of Big Country over these albums. And even though I get that some people may prefer the earlier sound, or what they did in the late 80s, or what they're doing here in the early 90s, I get how there might be different opinions about that. But I'm here for the full journey, and I'm enjoying all these different steps, even as, again, I'm sort of surprised about the sounds and the stylings as we continue forward. So either way, another cool tune from them. Once again, shout out to Wayne, to Tim, to Mr. Solo, and all the folks who've been part of this journey. And again, there's been a number of folks who've been commenting from the very early days right up into the present, even if you haven't shared music. So I value all of your contributions. Let me know what you think, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.